My eyes are just like on fire. My eyes are just, it's because of all the rain. It's kicked up all this stuff. The older I get, the more all of my allergies they come out through my eyeballs. Anyway, hello, welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Latin American and Spanish language horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
And I'm Veronica.
And Veronica, this is your opening weekend. How did it go?
It went well yesterday. I'm just really tired.
Did you teach today also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They've been doing construction on our little stretch of 35. So I left the house at 10 after 10. Got there at noon.
Oh my God. What time did you have?
I was already tired before I even started. My demo that I did wasn't until 3.
So you weren't cutting it close, getting there too close. That's good. Well, finally the thing that you've been building towards all this time, the grand opening has happened. And now hopefully you guys just get into a groove with your schedules. And
I just need to block my time better for when I need to prep for the next class. Because I teach 2 different classes that I have to prep for, different routines that I have to learn. So I just need to be better about organizing my time.
The one thing I wanted to talk about here in the opening, found footage movies, because that's what today's film is going to be all about. And so I think we have said before, you have said, I don't know if you've said it on the podcast or not, but you said that you enjoy found footage movies.
Generally speaking. Yes.
Generally speaking, what is it about found footage that you find interesting or exciting?
I don't know that I would say exciting. I just find it interesting because it's kind of cool. Not cool, but that's the wrong word. But it's different to go in knowing, or at least suspect, the fates of the people that are in the footage.
These are people who didn't make it, and we knew, generally speaking.
So you're kind of like backtracking, like what led up to that. And then I just always like the documentary feel of it. It feels, or it should feel anyway, in my opinion, not like acting, like an actor, like a polished actor acting. It should come across as just like a normal person having a normal conversation.
Does that make it feel scarier? Does it like heighten the tension a little bit more than the average movie?
Not necessarily. I just like the different vantage point.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like I'm watching, or if it's done well and right, I shouldn't feel like I'm watching actors acting out a role. I should feel like I'm watching just some random VHS footage that people shot of themselves.
Right. Yeah. There were a couple of resources that we'll link for you guys, just talking a little bit about found footage movies, and this one resource, depending on who you ask, sometimes this is a genre that gets a bad rap, and it's easy to get it wrong with like low production quality, bad acting, all of that stuff, motion sickness from the camera work, things like that. But when it's done well, it makes it feel like it's happening in real time. It can kind of heighten the tension.
That's kind of the point, is it's not supposed to look 100% like a polished film. It's supposed to look like raw footage,
Yeah. There was a fun article from Collider.com. We reference Collider.com all the time. And so this was another top whatever list of movies. So these are the 10 scariest found footage horror movies of the 21st century ranked. And I'd be curious to know, Ron, if you've seen a lot of these. I've seen a couple. I've seen very few, because found footage movies I just generally don't get exposed to so much. I feel like I'm saying that. I feel like you and I are saying this all the time on the show. We're like, we don't watch a whole lot of this. We don't watch a whole lot of that. It's like the world of horror is vast. It's hard to say one has watched all the horror out there. We are mere horror fans. That's all. But number 10 is Paranormal Activity, the first one, which I did see. Did you ever see that one?
I think a long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot about it.
I did see that one. We rented that one night, Alex's brother's apartment. It was a great night. Super scary. Messed me up. I went through a brief period of time where I was afraid of the dark again. Like, it really messed me up for a little while. But yeah, Paranormal Activity, which kicked off all the way back in 2007. And then there were subsequent movies after that. I never saw the subsequent movies. I've only seen that first one, and it messed me up. Number 9, Lake Mungo, if I'm saying that correctly. That came out in 2008, and that's an Australian horror film.
What's it called? Lake Mungo?
Lake Mungo, directed by Joel Anderson. I had heard it come up a couple of times in some of my research. So it's a movie that deals with the tragic drowning of a teenager and the strange supernatural occurrences plaguing her grieving family soon after. And eventually they realize that a daughter is contacting them from beyond the grave, yada, yada, yada. So that one is supposedly, it's on a couple of people's lists. It's worth checking out. There's the Poughkeepsie tapes from 2007. This was a horrifying look into the perspective of serial killer John Eric Dowdall's The Poughkeepsie tapes. What are you doing?
I'm writing a note to
Oh,
myself
okay.
to remind myself later to mention something.
Okay. Well, it's like you're like aggressively
Well, because my
writing.
pen's dying, so I need to find another pen.
It's like, are you chiseling into stone? What is happening? The Poughkeepsie tapes. I've never even heard of this one.
So, never either.
And then number 7, Late Night with the Devil, which I'm sure you've heard of. This one is newer. Came out 2023. This one's a Netflix movie. Comes from, I don't know who directs this one, but it stars David Dasmalchian. If I'm not saying his name right, I'm sure of it. But everyone was talking about it 2 years ago when it first dropped on Netflix. So number 6 is Afflicted, which came out in 2013. This kind of revolves around, this is a found footage thriller that revolves around, from my understanding, vampires.
Ooh.
Or people who are freshly turned. And then number 5 is Hell House LLC. Full disclosure, I've never seen any of the Hell House movies, but I am intrigued enough to want to see Hell House LLC.
Yeah.
Because what I do know about Hell House is that it does seem to revolve around a haunted house attraction. And I am into those. I do like those. So a found footage movie might be fun. Number 4 was Incantation. Now, this was a Taiwanese film from Kevin Ko as the filmmaker. Features a compelling story about a woman claiming to have been cursed years ago by an ancient local deity, now seeking help to lift this curse before it claims her daughter. It's hailed as one of the scariest international found footage movies of the current century, Ron.
Oh. Where's it from?
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
So we might have to put that one on like those months where we do step outside Spanish language. Number 3 is Wreck. We've seen Wreck. And number 2 is, I'm going to butcher this. This is a Japanese horror film.
Noroi? I have no idea.
Noroi, the Curse. At the heart of its frightening tale lies a mystery of what happened to a famed paranormal journalist who went missing while investigating a series of disturbing events linked to demonic legend. This one, again, it's another one that has shown up on a number of different lists. So I think this one is particularly scary, and some people call it unforgettable, hard to watch, nightmare found footage. And then number 1 is Host, which came out in 2020. And I believe I know the general plot.
I didn't know that was a found footage movie.
I didn't realize it was. I think because it's all like Zoom. It's like a Zoom call movie. So I think maybe that's being counted as found footage.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that should really count, but whatever, we'll go with it. It's rated as number 1 on this list. So those are the top 10. We'll have those linked for you guys in the show notes. I'm curious about Lake Mungo, and I'm curious about Noroi, the Curse.
So lots to check out. All right, this month, what are we? I don't know. However we keep track of time here. We watched Perdidos, or the English language title Strayed. Came out in 2014. Actually has an R rating, which is interesting. I'm so used to, like when I was growing up as a kid, scary movies did used to be rated R back then. Nowadays, it seems like a lot of them are PG-13, because movie people don't want to lose money out on the young folks. So
right.
And actually, I'm wondering why this is rated R. Actually,
well, I was remembering
I'm so desensitized. I'm like, well, what is making this made rated R?
I think we'll get to it, but I think Lucio's demise was, even though it was just a few seconds of footage, it was enough, and that's what landed them the R rating. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so it came out in 2014, directed and written by Diego Cohen. And stars a small little cast. Eduardo Montes as Lalo, Adrian Romero as Lucio, Roman Garcia as Roman, and Daniela Mosca Steinhauer as Daniela. And then a brief little piece with Carlos Moreno Cravioto, who plays El Quinto, and then Orlando Moguel, who plays Don Mateo, who is kind of I don't know.
Where the hell are those people? I don't remember those two.
El Quinto was the dude that was supposed to go spend the night with him, but he got that other job, and so he got Roman to do it.
Okay.
And then Don Mateo was just, I guess, the caretaker of the place. I
Oh,
don't know
I don't even.
why.
I remember there being. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
So it was a very small cast. That's pretty much it. But it's
Yeah.
really the four: Daniela, Roman, Lalo, and Lucio.
Mhm.
And the little tagline, at least on IMDb, reads: In September 2012, four film students disappeared while making a documentary in an abandoned building in downtown Mexico City. This is the footage recovered from the shooting, from the filming, it should say, because shooting makes it sound like
Yeah.
shots were fired. It should say
Right.
filming. But yeah,
Yeah.
so was clocked in at an hour and 33 minutes, which is pretty good for me. I just watched this last night. I know you were giving me an out to skip it this week just because my schedule's been so hectic, but it's found footage. I had to watch it. So, initial thoughts, Valerie.
I pulled a Ron because I watched 45-ish minutes last night, and then I watched the other 45-ish minutes this morning, fully because I was just really tired, Ron, and I was the one who was, I hate to say this, I was the one who was kind of nodding off just because this is real slow to build.
I was gonna say, like, it really doesn't start to stuff doesn't really start to happen till like the last 25, 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. And so I was just like 45-ish minutes in last night, like nothing had really happened yet. And I was just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to bed. We'll finish this up in the morning.
So
Getting to
maybe
the
this one could have been even a little shorter than an hour 33, maybe.
or just paced better. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know. All in all, like it's fine. What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best found footage. Like
I was a little disappointed. Yeah.
it was. I think it drug out a little too long in that beginning and the setup. And then I just had questions like because when the movie opens, we're here. We just have this audio of this supposed exorcism that was being done by a
And
Jewish rabbi.
and just words, right? It's text on a screen.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
black screen and just words, an exorcism. Then it picks up, and so the whole time that this first hour is going by, that really nothing's happening, and I'm like, the abandoned building that they're spending the night in. Lalo is, I guess, like a filmmaker or whatever, and this is his thesis project is to spend the night in this supposed abandoned building, which turns out it's a public bathhouse.
Looking at it, it looks more like a hospital, like
Yeah,
a
I was like, what the heck
psych
is this
ward.
place? That would have made more sense because a public bathhouse, I'm like, why? Okay, number one, why are they doing an exorcism in a public bathhouse? Like, what's the connection to the exorcism at the beginning of the movie?
And
And
it's a massive bathhouse. I'm like,
I'm,
how big are
s-
bathhouses?
I'm still not clear why. But yeah, so just a real slow build. And the whole time I'm questioning, okay, why was Lucio invited along? Like,
And Lucy,
it's one thing to be skeptical, but he's like,
he was hostile.
he was hostile and like, you're just gonna bore people. This is boring. Nothing's happening. He's just complaining and whining the whole time.
Like
I'm like,
excessively so. It's just like,
why'd you
dude,
even bring him?
yeah, you're too much. Settle down.
But yeah, I don't know why they decided to make it a public bathhouse.
I kept forgetting that that's what it was. So as they're moving through it, and I was just feeling like, what is this space? Because like none of the rooms made logistical sense.
Yeah, like
And
they
the whole
didn't
time again, I
connect.
was thinking, is this like a I was thinking this looks more like a hospital than any place where one would go to have a luxurious experience in a bathhouse. I don't know. Again, I've never been in one. I don't know what what happens there. So I
I
don't
don't know
know.
either because like it seemed like in the ground floor there was like a little kitchen, like diner area, restaurant. I don't know, and then there were parts of it that looked like jail cells, and then
Right?
parts
And
that did look like maybe it was some kind of sauna room. It was just very weird.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a little slow and then like missed opportunities. And I guess as
Mm,
we move through it, we can talk about it. But I just feel like taking it all in as a whole, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
mm.
And there's little things that they could have done that I think could have improved it a little bit more. Did you feel like it was trying too much to follow the Blair Witch formula and just not
I don't know because
capture?
I did actually find the Blair Witch a little creepier.
I found the Blair Witch super creepy.
Yeah, a lot, and actually they mentioned it in the movie.
Much of it might have to do with the setting. And I was trying to
Yeah.
sort of guess, like I was trying to sort of decide in my brain, what is it about this that isn't working? And is it because they're in this building where like towards the end of the movie, I get it. I get why they can't leave. Like it's too late. They're done for. But at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, you could just leave. Like you went in there of your own volition. You could just leave. It's not like the Blair Witch where it's like they got lost in the woods and couldn't get out. But then by the end of this movie, Yes, because the building is shifting, rooms are
Like rearranging
changing on
itself.
them. They're done for. They're
Well, I think
trapped.
that caregiver dude and number 1, why does this building require a caretaker to be there? He locked the door when he left, so I'm assuming that there was no way to unlock the door from the
Oh,
inside.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he locked and I guess there are no other
Why
that
would
they
he
could
do
get.
that? Just to make sure just because Lalo was like, "We're gonna stick it out. No one's leaving." Is that why?
Maybe. They didn't really say. That was my assumption.
See, I feel like
But now I'm curious if the characters in the movie were aware that he locked the door.
yeah, see, because I missed that. Here's the situation. I feel like the first 10 minutes of the movie ish, they're in the car driving to
Mhm.
this space. I felt like that took too long and was a little boring. And then when we get to like I felt like the building, them getting into the building and all of that felt kind of super rushed. Even the part where where they talk about in the beginning how, there had been an exorcism there in that space many years ago, and that it was
Mhm.
like the first of the Jewish tradition to be performed there. I had completely forgotten all of that. I only know that because in going back and doing reading around on this film, of which there's very little to be found online, by the way, guys, I was reminded that, oh yeah, it did say that. I had completely forgotten that because I just felt like the front part of the film felt kind of a little bit rushed on backstory. And then there were missed opportunities in the nothingness of the first 46 minutes where we could have had, like if this is a documentary, put Lalo in front of the screen or put Daniela in front of the screen, giving like exposition on here's why we're here, here's the story of this building, here's what we hope to capture, kind of reiterating what we should know, because that would have helped me as a viewer follow what's happening and care about why we're here in the first place. Because the whole time I was just like, why are we here?
Just
I
to
don't know.
see this, and I think they said it's only been abandoned for 15 years, which it was in pretty considerable disrepair for having just been empty for 15 years.
With a caretaker supposedly who maintains it. It's like, well, what does a caretaker do?
And I didn't catch at the beginning if they said when that exorcism was happening.
I didn't catch either. As far as like timeline, you mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
I
was
don't
it
know.
15 years? Is that why it closed, the bathhouse?
Didn't they say something or allude to something about a death that might have occurred there? Clearly. I mean, right? There had to have been a death that occurred there.
I
For
don't remember that.
Okay, maybe they didn't say that.
I do not
Maybe.
recall that, Senator.
Yeah, I felt like this movie was giving a little bit of Blair Witch, but also a little bit of Ghost Hunters, the TV
Well,
show
and they
Ghost
did
Hunters.
mention they did make a meta reference to Blair Witch because Danielle even says, "Hopefully without the dying part."
Right.
That didn't work out for her very well.
Not so much.
That was a scene, like, what happened to her? Like, the screen went black, her camera died, the light on her camera died, and so
I don't know.
I don't know what happened to her. And then at the end, what was that? Were we just
See,
here? Because it seemed like it was her again
mhm.
breathing or
Right. It felt like you're talking about the closing scene, the closing
Mhm.
minutes of the movie. It's all black and all you're hearing is audio. And I felt like what we were hearing was the audio of all of them rolled together. Cause it's like at one point it sounded like a woman. At one point it sounded like a man, like
I
very
don't know what was going
clearly.
on.
Yeah, it was weird. There were things I thought that this film did well, particularly in the second half. Were there any things that kind of stood out to you as like, well, that was effectively done, that was nice? Where Roman is the one who's operating the paranormal gear,
Mhm.
right? That's
Yeah.
Roman. So when Roman stumbles upon that room that has all the white writing on the wall, which I would come to find out later was in like Hebrew, I didn't know. So like in the reading again, it was explained to me that this was in Hebrew. It might have been beneficial for the movie to elaborate on that for the viewer. So he finds this room where there's just Hebrew written all over the wall. He finds that little box,
Chest.
and I was like, "Don't open it." It's like, "Don't do it."
Well, the whole room was, like, locked. Well,
The whole room was a
it was
big nope.
secured. Although in his defense, he wasn't there the day that they were being given the tour. That was El Quinto, the 5th
Mhm.
dude, and so he may not have heard the caretaker say, "Don't open that door, leave that one alone." But
See,
yeah.
I forgot that too.
Yeah.
So they say that in the movie.
Mhm. Yeah, because
See,
they're, like, asking, "Why is this door?" I mean, it's not, like, super secured, it's just,
little twine or whatever wire.
like wire. It's, like,
Uh huh.
wired shut. Not super secured,
Yeah.
but yeah, they were asking the caretaker dude, "Why is this door locked? What's in here?" And he just He doesn't ever answer. All he says is, "Don't open it. Don't open
Don't
it."
don't go in there.
But
So of course
Roman
Roman
wasn't
goes
there
in
that
there.
day.
What happens to Roman, and then what we kind of see through Lucio's camera, which I'm presuming is Roman dropping himself up off the top of that building or that structure. I'm
Mhm.
assuming that was Roman. We never find out because we never find a body. We just never see him again. I thought that was kind of creepy and well done.
I thought there
Yeah.
was a part where what's his name? Lucio is in one of those rooms and he pans to the camera. Did you see his face distort?
Yes,
That was
yes.
creepy.
And that kind of woke me up because it's like, oh, okay, now
Stuff
some
is gonna
stuff is
start.
happening.
Now stuff is starting.
Okay, so this was one critique I had, and one area where I feel like this was a missed opportunity on this part. So on this film's part, it's a cool space, right? Like
Mm,
it's a creepy building. I feel like we don't really ever get to see a whole lot of it because it's just all shot in the dark with like the light of the camera, which is, I know, the design of a found footage film. But I felt like if these filmmaker kids had captured maybe a few more interior shots of the space, it might have helped build tension, because there's been a number of movies that you and I have watched for this show
mhm.
where it'll just be an interior shot. It's just you looking at the field of camera vision and you're just waiting for something to appear. So you're just like
Yeah, I'm like looking
tensely
at like, am I
you're
supposed to be seeing
tensely looking
something?
at the scene to see what there is to see. And I felt like if we had just had a few shots like that, where
Mhm,
we're allowing the viewer to sort of panic, create their own sense of panic at what they're looking at, which is nothing, it's just a room. But that might have really helped build tension in the first half, because my beef with this movie is I didn't get to see enough of this cool haunted building. And if you just played with those interior scenes a little bit more, that maybe could have made it a little bit scarier
mhm.
early on, which would
And I
be
agree
nice.
with your other assertion that, because like with the Blair Witch Project, they gave you a little bit of the lore of the Blair Witch
Right.
and why those students were even there looking into her legend, her folklore. Whereas here, we don't know why they picked this particular building, other than people have reported strange noises. Well, okay,
Make up a
probably a
little
lot of
history. Give us a
yeah.
little history, just a little nugget.
Something,
A little nugget.
a little something, something. I also think there were too many shots with too many characters together. Like it's more suspenseful, like you said, when people are panicking because they're alone, and
Right.
then their imagination starts to run away with them, and then every little noise becomes
Heightened. Yeah.
heightened
Even,
and a potential threat. And this here, there's like they spend too much time together. It's like you've got four cameras spread out
yeah.
and explore.
Although by the time they do spread out, I'm like, that just feels like a stupid idea, because it's one thing if you split up at the beginning before, when you're all dumb and you don't know what's coming,
Mhm,
and then it makes sense. But if you split up after crap has already started to kind of freak you out, that just seems stupid. Like, why would you
mhm,
like? Because I think they'd already encountered like the closing of doors, creepy sounds off in the distance, so they'd already been kind of getting weirded out. And that was when Lalo decided, "Hey, let's split up." That doesn't work for me. Like
mhm.
if I'm Daniela and this crew, I'd be like, I don't think so. Let's see what else.
We never really had a clear layout, any general idea of the layout of this building. Because the whole time I'm thinking, like, how do even the map, when they showed the brief glimpses of the supposed map that they're using, it was a crappy map. I'm like, how can you possibly tell where the heck you are in this building?
Right. It's like
S
there's no "you are here" dot. You don't
yeah,
know
it's
where
like,
you are.
how the heck do you keep track of where you are?
Wait, what did you think of like so we never really see what it is?
Mm-mm.
Do you feel like I guess I don't know how to describe it. I guess like the usage of whatever this is, the entity, the I'm gonna say demon, because I just feel like that kind of lends itself to this backstory that we got of like an exorcism. And also because what we do know of this thing is we just hear anytime that you would hear the growling, the
Mhm.
sinister animalistic growling, you knew he's whatever it is, it's close and the person on the screen is about to die.
I kept wondering, did they, like, borrow audio from, like, the Jurassic Park movies? Because a lot of that sounded like Tyrannosaurus
Dinosaurs.
Rex growling.
Velociraptor entering the kitchen.
I should have
Um,
brought my youngest son in, he would probably know. Like, that
but
sounds like
do you
that too.
feel like that was effectively done? Obviously with these low budget kind of movies.
Well, and the thing of it is when it's a found footage movie, at least I don't, and I don't think it would work well to see, like, an actual
thing.
the physical embodiment of whatever it is. In all those paranormal shows, like I know my daughters like to watch what is that called? Ghost Hunters?
I think so. Ghost Hunters. That's what this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That,
I mean, it's always just blips or shadows. That's just what you should expect in a found footage movie.
mhm.
Generally speaking, it's not going to be a corporeal. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Corporeal presence.
Right.
So
Right.
that didn't really bother me too much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what little we get the inkling of shadows, but
Hmm.
everything happens so quickly, which is by design. And so I thought that was well done. The growling I thought was effective, if for no other reason than to let me know, okay, somebody's about to die. It's still not clear to me what the hell happened to Lucio, but
Lucio. Oh yeah, he got beheaded, didn't he?
he
Didn't
got
they?
beheaded,
They showed her a picture of
and
his
you
head.
see it, like, you see some appendages fall, and I'm like, "Okay." And as I was reflecting on it today, I was thinking, not even in Blair Witch did we actually see anything happen to anyone.
Hmm.
They just one by one started disappearing.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of them, but, one by one, they started disappearing. So this was like this was the only instance, and he's the only one in this movie that we see what happened to him.
Hmm.
Because like, you're right, we don't see what happened to Daniela. We don't really ever find out what the hell happened to Roman, and we kind of see Lalo in his final minutes. We don't know ultimately what happened to him.
Yeah, he gets sucked into that room. But we do know that there's no bodies left because they don't.
He,
They just the
that's
movie
true.
says it's 4 students disappeared, so obviously no remains were found.
That's true. That's true. I forgot that. You're right. I spaced on that.
So
See, that's
I
just like,
don't.
it's so easy for me to like just forget text on a screen at the beginning of the movie.
So I don't know what happened to all the bodies. I actually
Because
was wondering the caretaker, whatever security, whatever he is. He apparently was letting them do this without necessarily the owner of the building's permission. So I kept wondering, it's like, well, when he shows up in the morning and he can't find them, is he even going to tell anybody? Is he going to fess up that he even let them spend the night there? Is he just going to get rid of all the
right.
equipment and
Yeah, because there's evidence of them, because that's sort of like what Lalo, when he's seeing the blood on the walls and he's real, which I interpreted as like, that's fresh blood, right? That was probably from
Yep,
from Lucio
look
or
like it?
Daniela or somebody. So yeah, I was like, that's fresh blood from his friends, and he knows it, and so he's realizing, oh my god. And so yeah, that would be blood on the walls, evidence of these kids having been there. Let's see, what else.
The dude, the fifth, the El Quinto, that escaped this fate because he got a job at the last minute, and so he sent Roman in his place. I kept thinking, but did he really escape, or is this like a final destination moment where death is going to haunt him? This was his time.
El Quinto, and presumably at least Lalo, maybe the rest of them, had all toured this building beforehand. And so nothing happened. Presumably nothing happened. Nothing that would have offset, like, set them worrying.
No, other than wondering why that one particular door was locked. But they toured it during the day,
Maybe that's why. Yeah.
and so yeah, nothing happened. Because I'm assuming that the caretaker has been there for who knows how long, and I don't know that he's there all day. To be honest, though, maybe I was just assuming that maybe he was just there to meet them and let them in. And
I'll have to go back and watch, because I really don't have a visual on the caretaker. Was he creepy looking?
no, but he had a big old bottle of alcohol in his front
That's
jacket
right.
pocket.
He
Not
was
even a little bottle; it was a big bottle.
Now I'm remembering, he was drinking as he was taking them through.
Yeah.
He's just
So he may have
liquoring
just
up.
been there to meet them, and I don't know that he necessarily was there all day long, every day
Yeah.
or anything.
As the movie went on, especially as like they split up, I was just like, at that point, I was really starting to get just vexed with these people for being down these dark, dilapidated hallways and splitting up. And I'm like, split up, sure, whatever. But you're looking down the barrel of this dark, dank hallway. Just don't do it. Again, like, the whole movie, I was just like, just don't do it. Just leave. And then as soon
I
as
know.
the wall shifted, I was like, well, now you can't. Now you're screwed.
I would have just parked myself right by the front door, back against the door, and I would not have moved from there.
Right. Like, I don't need to make a documentary this badly, sir. As far as characters go, do you feel like this movie fleshed out these characters really well, not well enough? Did you have particular attachments to any of them?
I mean, they weren't really fleshed out, but you're generally not gonna get that in a found footage movie, because like it would be like if you or I were doing a little filming ourselves doing something, we wouldn't be saying, "Oh, and I grew up in blah blah blah, and my parents are divorced." Like, you generally don't get that. I mean, Well, except for Lucio. Lucio kind of got on my nerves, but
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't necessarily want anything to happen to the rest of them.
What happened? Did Lalo's eyes get gouged out?
I don't know. He just looked like he had taken a real beating,
Yeah, his
kind of
his
knocked
face
around.
just looked
He
bloody
couldn't
and
see apparently because of course, I don't know if that was just he didn't have his
he
camera
didn't have
light
his
anymore
camera
and it was
anymore.
dark. But
Just stumbling around in the dark. Yeah.
yeah.
I thought, okay, so that ending shot where we see those final minutes of him on the stage cam, the
Mhm.
positioned camera, I thought that was well done because what
Mhm.
happens is after Daniela gets struck down, we don't see it. It's in blackness, but she screams. And then we cut to Lalo. Lalo's trying to navigate some space. I think at one point he does start to get attacked by the thing. He's trying to run from the thing, but again, we're not seeing it. We're just hearing it. And he's showing his hand on the camera. He's been bit or something has happened to his hand. And so he's being attacked. And then we kind of it pans to the different staged cameras. So the different footage of camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. By the time we get to camera 4, it's that hallway in front of that door that Roman went missing, that
Mhm.
door that they weren't supposed to open. Lalo comes stumbling out. He's all bloody. You can tell he's just like, he either can't see because he doesn't have eyes anymore, or he can't see because it's just dark. Probably both, or one, or probably the latter, I should say. Former, whatever. I can't talk. The latter, probably the
Mm.
latter. Anyway, and then the door opens and he gets sucked in. And then the door promptly like slams shut once he's inside, screaming, whatever. And then quiet. And the door slowly opens again. And I
Mhm.
thought that was cool. And that would have been, in my opinion, a perfect way to end it. And they didn't quite end it like that,
No.
did they? Because it was
No.
like a shadow emerges, right?
And then even after that, that's when you get those final minutes of just black screen and just sounded like Daniela. And now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if it was her and was the demon possessing her. Maybe she walks out as a possessed person. Who knows?
Well, see, like I thought that I'll have to go back and check. It just felt like it was a multitude of voices. What if this demon like possessed all of them, and then one by one they all come for each other, until like I don't know, until
On
the
second thought, he couldn't have been possessing her because then she would have not been missing. Yeah, so that doesn't work. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, we don't know what happened.
I don't know what
We don't
happened.
know what happened. We never see it. Whatever it is, we never see it. But that thought that was the ending was nice. I thought that was effective and creepy as hell. That it just went quiet and then the door just slowly opens and you're like,
Yeah.
oh
It's a
hell
very
no.
narrow door, too, I have to say.
Well, the hallways were narrow. Everything made no sense. It felt like it was part hotel, part hospital, part jail.
Well,
Like
see, and that's what I wanna know, like, why did they elect to make this abandoned haunted building a bathhouse, a public bathhouse? Like, why not a mental institution, an abandoned mental institution, or prison, or,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
something where it's just already full of just tormented, sad souls?
And if what you're saying is something bad happened there years and years ago, that backstory needs to be part of the plot because otherwise, like I one of the few reviews that I came across on this movie. I don't know that we're going to be sharing a ton of resources on this particular episode just because I didn't find any. We didn't find much. But some things I looked at kind of indicated that it's just like there doesn't feel like there's a big enough why here. Like,
Mhm.
why are you there? What are you doing this for? And we've already talked about that. It's just like make us care about it more. What is so compelling about this place? Because like the Blair Witch woods and the folklore stuff, like that's cool. And I could see wanting to embark on that journey. I cannot see wanting to go and spend the night in a dank building like that. No, thank you. No me gusta. When Lucio falls down and gets that, I guess, piece of iron in his leg, I was
Mhm.
just like, oh man, you're gonna need a tetanus shot. That's bad. I get like that wasn't the entity didn't do that to him, right? He just fell down the stairs and probably
Oh, who
landed.
knows? Might have pushed him. I mean,
Right.
apparently it can cause Lalo looked pretty beat up, so apparently it can cause physical
Yeah.
damage to a person. So I don't could have pushed him down the stairs, or maybe he tripped. Who knows?
I really want to know what happened to Roman. Roman is the big question mark in my mind. Obviously, I know he is gone, but I want to know what happened. Why did he toss himself off the building? Was he compelled to do it by the spirit?
That would be my assumption.
Presumably,
I don't think he would have done it on his own.
or did he just or like did he just see no way out and he did that or what? I don't know. And then where did the body go? Yeah, I have so many questions. initially I was waiting to get to the halfway mark so that I could stop for the night. And by watching the second half this morning, especially as we're like getting into like people are being offed and things are happening, and I just kept looking at the timer and I'd be like, there's only 20 minutes left. There's only 15 minutes left. Like, how are you going to tie this all up together in the final 15 minutes?
Well,
Oh,
but that's also a hallmark of found footage is there is no tying it
right.
off. It's
Yeah.
just the last piece of footage is the last piece of footage, and the people in the footage are not around anymore to tell anyone what happened. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like an archaeologist that digs up relics from the past. Like
You have to try to piece together a
you
story.
just have to piece together a story, and that's all you get.
So ultimately, not a bad little film. There's stronger found footage movies out there. Would you watch
Mm,
this one again? Does this one have rewatchability for you?
yeah, I mean,
If
I didn't dislike it, but
I would almost be interested in going back to watch it again just because I feel like there are things I missed. And I'm wondering if there are things that were I to go back and look at a second time, I would catch. There were some IMDb user reviews on this movie, one of which was just talking about, again, just feeling like the backstory wasn't necessarily there. And then somebody else chiming in and say, no, the backstory was there. You just had to pay attention. And that's the person who pointed out to me things I glossed over. Things like the writing on the wall was all in Hebrew, which makes sense because the exorcism that was held there was the first of the Jewish tradition.
well, that's what
Um,
I figured that it was Hebrew.
I mean, I didn't make the connection at all because I'd completely forgotten the exorcism part entirely. And so the whole film, I was just like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? And so it took that person reminding me, oh, because of this, and this is why. So
Yeah,
I would watch it again for that reason. How would you rate this on the light switch scale?
there were a few moments in the last 30 minutes where, like, I think I kind of jerked when
Uh-huh.
Lalo saw his face distorted in the
Yes.
mirror, and then
Loud noises.
one of the other times when Daniela is on her own, and you can hear her panic escalating.
Yeah, I think if it's your first time watching it, maybe a light on. Now that
Mm,
I've seen it, I could probably get through it without lights on. Maybe. I don't know. I say that. I never have to watch horror movies like alone in a house. I always have people in the house with me. If I lived on
mm,
my own or something, I might I
might be
might
different.
have all the lights on.
Might be a different story.
I think the moral of what did I put? The moral of this story is don't be a film student.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to pay off for anybody.
Don't do it, dude. It's not worth it.
uh,
Are there like this movie came out in 2014, so I doubt there's a sequel. This particular director, though, so this director Diego Cohen, the only other thing that would stand out to me from potentially a horror standpoint, he did Mark of the Devil. He also did something called Romina. Both of those, to me, just looking at them, seem to be horror based. Mark of the Devil stars Eduardo Noriega, who we know from he did The Devil's Backbone. He was the bad guy in The Devil's Backbone. The
hmm.
bad guy. The dude, the jerk in The Devil's Backbone.
Well, I know, but I just can't picture his face.
Oh, okay. Well, that guy. So yeah, he's done at least 2 other horror films besides this one. I wanted to tell you, damn it, and I don't have the magazine. So Ron, if you guys go and you go on Instagram and you follow someone called, I want to say her handle is Spooky Little Halloween, at Spooky Little Halloween. Her name's Miranda. She has a magazine that comes out every October called Spooky Little Halloween. The 5th issue just arrived in my mailbox. This is my first time ordering the magazine, but I finally did it because I was like, I want to support her. She's a great creator. And so anyway, it arrived. I was looking through it. There's a guy. I will have to go back in show notes, guys, and post this information. So please, I'm not going to be able to say it on the show, but please look in our show notes over on our episode blog for a link to this guy's Instagram information, whatever he has linked in the article.
Why
But
can't you
he's
say it on the show?
because I don't know it, and I don't have
Oh,
the magazine nearby for me to grab at. But
oh.
he's a really cool dude who lives in California, and every year he does massive yard displays that are really cool, and he tries to bring in Hispanic culture into his yard displays because he's Latino. He has the big giant Home Depot Grim Reaper like the big one, which I have also. I invested in that last year. And what he does is, so like last year or this most recent Halloween, whatever, what he was photographed for the magazine, he turns the big old, whatever it was, 12-foot Grim Reaper into La Santa Muerte in all of the regalia of La Muerte. He has like an informational sign out there kind of teaching the public about this Mexican folklore. And then he also has like a chupacabra out there. He has La Arona out there. So he just basically fills his yard with all of these displays and then has all of these informational posts out there where you can like scan the QR code and go to like read more about these myths and these legends. And so I thought that's really cool. So anyway, long story short, I'm trying to like see what I can do about rigging up a muerte, what's the word I'm looking for, tribute in my yard, as well as like a chupacabra. And I have a wig. I could maybe make a La Arona happen. I don't know. So I'm inspired. It's really cool. But anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to share about Halloween. Are you getting excited for spooky season? Do you see the Thursday Murder Club has released on Netflix? So that's
yes,
available.
but I'm torn because I have the book. I have the first book, and I don't know if I want to read the book first and then spoil the show for myself, or see the show and spoil the book. I don't know. I did, however, watch the other day K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, how was that?
I liked it, and I was not expecting to. I was like, and the only reason I watched it was because two of the formats that I'm certified to teach in have routines to two different songs. And they are good songs. So I was like, okay, well, let me go catch the movie so I can at least know the context of these songs.
I have heard good things about it.
I actually did really, really like it. It has a really good message. And the song, like, I don't think there's a bad song in the whole show.
Yeah, I have heard good things about it actually from people like outside of the demographic that it would be geared towards.
Yeah, because I'm not into K-pop at all. I couldn't, other than BTS, I couldn't like name you a K-pop group.
Yeah, I am getting excited about spooky season, and so like Only Murders in the Building comes back we're recording on a Sunday. It comes back Tuesday. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm just excited for spooky season. The vibe is coming to me a little bit earlier this year, which is nice because why put off what brings us happiness? Just, amidst the horrors of the world, why put off joy? Let's see. The other thing to remind you guys about, we do have a book club episode coming up at the end of October. We're reading Suburban Dicks by Fabian Nicieza. If you go to our website, don'twatchatnight.com, you can find out more information about the book there. But yeah, end of October will be our book club episode. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't watched Perdidos /Strayed, go ahead and give it a watch. Everyone should watch it at least once and let us know what you think about it. And
you've been spoiled now anyway, so
you might as well. And then we will see you next time.
Bye. Don't Watch at Night is a Nest production hosted by me, Veronica, and Valerie. Editing by Valerie. Music by Omar Chakor. Production support for this episode provided by Lorenzo Villarreal and Alex Street. Listen to new episodes of Don't Watch at Night every other Monday, and don't forget to give us a rate and review. It's the best way to help us grow.